Hello YouTube, Bushcraft Woods Devil here. Today I thought I would talk a little bit about my personal EDC. It's a really windy day here on the central California coast and been pretty much indoors all day. And I thought I'd do a pocket dump and talk about some of the items I carry. One of the items that I like to carry is a big folding pocket knife. It's good for large cutting tasks. I carry it every day at work. My particular choice is this Columbia River Casper Crawford. It's a very nice folding knife. They're not very expensive. They're about $20, I think. If I lose it, it's not a big loss. But the nice thing is it's a very good quality and it gives me a lot of good utility. It's a large knife, very hand filling. One of the things I like about it is this locks, L-A-W-K-S feature, which allows you to have a little extra degree of safety from an accidental blade closure. By sliding this forward, it blocks the frame lock from moving. It's better, but again, don't completely rely on such mechanical features. Always be careful to avoid closing the knife on your hand. But I really like this knife. It takes a good edge. I love the serrations on it. I'm able to sharpen this knife well, and it's a very excellent knife for my purposes. I also like to carry a Swiss Army knife. I usually carry this in a little neck pouch. The nice thing about it is it has a number of little features, which of course you all know. It has a toothpick. Not that I use that very often, but if you have something caught in your teeth, believe me, you really wish you had it. The tweezers, very handy. The type of work I do, I often get splinters in my fingers. It's very useful for that. And the blade, to be honest, I usually use it for cutting up apples and things on my lunch break. So this is more of just a little utility knife for my own personal needs. This is more of a working knife. Another thing I like to carry is a notebook. I like to keep notes. I've gotten really bad about forgetting things, and so I like to jot down a note when I think of something so that I have it to reference later. Write and Rain is a really nice little notebook. I usually carry them in my shirt pocket, and they're not affected by moisture, so if I'm working in the yard or I'm at work busting a sweat, it's not going to wilt the pages and make it impossible to write on them. Another item that I like to carry is a tactical pen. This particular tactical pen is a generic type of a pen. It's a Humvee. It's put out by Camco. Very inexpensive. I think they're probably right around the $10 mark. Certainly less than $20. This particular model has a glass breaker tip. I have no false illusions about saving someone. That's probably not going to happen. But I commute every day to and from work, and I see some crazy driving. It's not impossible that I might get driven off the road by an inattentive motorist and have to bust a window to get out of my own car if I go off the road. So it could be a useful tool. It's also an impact weapon in a defensive role. These take a Fisher Space Pen refill. It's a pretty hefty pen, pretty bomb proof. This is just what I choose to carry. For personal defense, I like to carry Saber pepper spray. Saber is a type of pepper spray that's used by the United States Marshal Service. On mine, I rig them up with a little bit of paracord. So if I want to put my wrist into it, I can carry it like that, and it just flips up into my hand. I can turn to safety and engage it or disengage it. If I have to open my hand, it just falls loose. I'm a big believer in pepper spray. I spent 33 years in law enforcement, and I ran into a lot of people with a lot of issues. There's a lot of people out there with drug and alcohol issues, borderline personality disorders, and some folks that are just downright antisocial and or criminal. And it is completely possible that you can run into these folks and have a conflict just over something as simple as a parking space. Firearms for personal safety, that's a huge individual choice. I'm not really interested in liability for that. For me, just having a pepper spray gives me a non-lethal option to defend myself if need be. It may not work on everyone, but it's better than nothing. It gives me a little bit of standoff capability, and that's what I choose. I like to carry a small tactical flashlight. I go to work every morning, usually before sunrise. With the flashlight, I can find my way out of the house, not have to turn lights on and wake up my family. When I go out to my vehicle, I can see what I'm doing. I can scan the area and see if there's anybody standing around outside. But this particular model I just did a video on recently. This is the iProtec 100 ProLight 100, a little 100 lumen flashlight, quite bright, quite powerful, and takes a single AA. Like a lot of little tactical flashlights, it has the crenulated tip for an impact weapon, so you can do strikes or you can gouge. Some people call them a DNA collector. This particular one, it unscrews. If you don't like it, if you want to remove it, you certainly can. But again, really, it's just basically a light. It's just a tool, very helpful to me. And then finally, I like to carry a match safe. It has a couple of different types of matches in it, some waterproofs and some regular safety matches. But more than that, I carry about $1 worth of dimes in here. There's a community down the road where I shop quite a bit, and they have an outrageously high parking fine if you get caught with an expired meter. You do not want to get into this town and not have change for the meter and run the risk of a fine. So carrying some spare change in here, if I forget or I don't have any coins in my pocket, I always have some coins for the meter that'll get me out of trouble. So really, this is more of a coin carrying device than a match safe. But I've been to barbecues where nobody had a lighter, nobody smokes anymore, and people are like, oh my gosh, how are we going to start the barbecue? And I've pulled this out and go, here, I've got matches. So very handy tool. Now, having said that, I don't really feel comfortable with saying it's an EDC, an everyday carry, because the truth is it's not an everyday carry. I don't carry every one of these items every day. It might be better to say a most days carry or a some days carry. But I can guarantee day to day I'll have this, and this. This comes and goes, this comes and goes. But most days I do carry these items. And then of course there's the items that we all carry: a wallet, a ring of keys, a cell phone. Those are just a given. I don't even really look upon those as an EDC. So there you have it. Just some of my choices, and thought you might be interested. So that's all I have for you today, and we'll catch you again later down the road. Have a good evening.